Hello everyone, this is Donald Production speaking. I know it's been a very long time since I've made an appearance on the channel, but I wanted to get this quick video out because while I was here over winter break, we decided to make a layout. We made a layout last night, and I decided to record a layout tour. Now, I don't know if I'm gonna come back to this channel, but I wanted to at least showcase what we built while I was here. And yeah, so I got home from work, I set all the engines up, and now I'm here to record this layout. Just keep in mind that it's been a little while since I've built a layout in the first place, so my layout building skills are a little rough. Fergus also helped, if you remember him from earlier on the channel. So this wasn't all my doing, but he did help a little bit. So just keep in mind that it's been a while since we built the layout, so it might not be as cool as the ones we've made before. We also didn't have as much space, so this layout may be a little bit smaller. But yeah, and I apologize if the camera's a bit shaky. I've misplaced my tripod. I have no idea where it is. So I'm going old school with my hands. So here we are at Tidmouth Sheds. We have Donald here by himself. And we get to the turntable. One of those lines obviously goes to the main sheds. Then these two are sidings. And then as well as these two lines, we have Lady and Toby here in the sheds as well. The line that goes straight down from the main sheds goes to the water tower and then T-switch. If we go up from the T-switch, it just curves around and goes to the signal house. If you choose the line that's left from the main sheds, it goes down and then also connects to the signal house. And then this is where we get to what's basically Knapford Station. Now, if you remember in past layouts, we had these different I don't know what brand it was, but they were stations with red roofs. We kind of used that for Knapford Station or other stations, but those roofs broke, so I kind of just used the base pieces as platforms. So we do have the platforms, no arcs or anything, but this is the Knapford Station area. And we have Thomas with Annie and Clarabelle, we have Stanley with the Chinese Dragon, and then we have Connor with his coaches, and then we just have a couple passengers as well. Stanley and Connor's line connect from this switch, and then Connor's line just ends in a siding, and then Thomas's line goes down and around to the tipping bridge where Bulgy is. It goes up and down, and we'll get back to that later. The line that has Connor and Stanley's line goes down to a switch, and then it goes straight over the Marin Bridge where we have Rusty pulling the cement cars. Now, we also did not build a separate narrow gauge layout, so there are narrow gauge engines on here, just so you know. We're gonna go down that line later on, but this switch, if you go here, goes under the tipping bridge to a three-way switch. Let me just move so that we can get a better angle. If you go straight, we get to where Henry is loading up Tipper and Tumbler, my two custom trucks, with logs. And this is kind of the Henry's Forest type area. This is the logging loader from one of those sets that we got that was Imaginarium. We also have a truck with a log, as well as a workman standing on this platform. If you go left from where Henry is, goes down over the clickety-clack, forest piece. Then it goes around to where Douglas is pulling a goods train past the timber yard, and then it goes down to a T-switch. Now this T-switch, if you decide to go down, goes to one of the airports. We have Birdie, as well as two cars, which I knocked over. And then we have James, who is taking a small passenger coach, and then we have some passengers up here as well. So James's line goes down, goes back to the T-switch where the sheds and Knapford is. Now, if you go back to where this T-switch is, this line goes under the mountain tunnel, the bottom lane. This is kind of what we're using as quote-unquote Henry's tunnel. This line goes through the bottom to where the other side, where Percy is pulling the mail car, then goes to a crossing. Now, if we go back over here to these two lines where Rusty is and the tipping bridge goes down to a switch. Now this switch goes up to a T-switch and then goes to where Rusty is. And this is the quarry area. We had to do a little bit of creativity. We had to use some creativity when making this part because we could not find all the blue risers. We could not make the usual roundabout area, but we made some cool changes. But anyways, if we go back to where the T-switch is coming from Rusty's line, this line goes straight to a switch. And if you go down here, oops, just knocked over Rusty. Anyways, if you go to the switch, it's a little, I guess a little yard where you can put some trucks and such, but we have Diesel, Dodge, and Diesel 10. Now, I have no idea what they could be talking about, but they could be up to something devious. Now, if we go to the left side from this switch, we go down here to where there's a little crane loading up Fergus, who's pulling the search and rescue cars. Now, going back here to this other switch connected to the T-switch, we get to where, knocked over Rusty again, we get to where Bill and Ben are. Looks like they are up to no good, pushing around the Sodertron and Clay car and the Blue Mountain Quarry car. And then their line goes down to another switch. Now, if you go to the left, it goes under this viaduct to the coal hopper, where Mavis is loading up this Crovan's Gate truck with some coal, and then goes to a three-way switch. We have Duncan, and in the shed here, we have Sir Handel and Scarlowy. And next to this switch, we have Max and Monty. And then this switch connects to the line that Percy is on. Now, if you go straight from this line, it goes down to where Fergus is. And so that kind of connects the main part of the quarry. Now, if we go back to where Rusty's line is and to the left side of this T-switch, sorry, Rusty, I did not mean to knock you over again. This goes to the switch that we were at before, but it goes under the viaduct, over a crossing, and to the quarry mine tunnel. Now, if we go up from the quarry mine tunnel, there's another switch. If we choose to go right, it goes around up to the giant viaduct where you have my custom Coldy, which is a little cursed because he's scuffed and his face is falling off, and he's pulling Catherine. And this line goes around, down, over the track before, and then through the middle line of the mountain tunnel. We're going to get to that later. We're going to go back here to this switch. So after going up the quarry mine tunnel, if you decide to go straight on this switch, you go back down where Murdoch is pulling an assortment of goods, backed by the custom troublesome brake van I made a while ago. And if you go straight from the switch that Murdoch is on, goes down the line to another switch, there's Emily at Farquhar pulling some coaches. If you go right, it just connects to where Duncan is. But if you stay on Emily's line, it just goes around and connects back where Bill and Ben are. Now, going back to where Coldy is, going down the viaduct, you go through the middle line, there's Gordon, and you go to where we have Oliver and then my custom Toad, who's also seen better days. As you can tell, the roof got a little scratched up when he was in storage. And he is pulling the candy cars, the Mr. Jolly's chocolate car and the Soda candy shop car. This line just goes around, across this bridge, and down. Now going back to where Henry is, sorry, we are doing a lot of backtracking. If you choose to go right where Henry is, just goes around here, across this crossing, and then up Gordon's Hill, where Gordon is pulling the express. And then it goes down to where we're having Ellsbridge Station. There's a couple of passengers waiting, might have missed the train. And it goes down to a switch. And if you choose to go on this line, it just goes around behind the station and to the other water tower where Spencer is getting a long drink of water. Now, if you continue going down this line, you go past where Murdoch is. And this line goes to a switch, which just connects the bridge that Oliver is on. And so then you get to the docks. Now, going back to where Murdoch is, his line just comes around to the outside as well and connects to the docks. Now, going into the docks, there's a switch here. This just leads to an extra siding where looks like Salty is loading up some trucks with cargo. This middle line has Edward, and he's pulling the bakery cars. And we have this switch that I love. It's the two-way track switch. and that leads to where Derek is going back to those lines before. Now Derek's line just goes down to this switch. If you go to the right, it goes down to this shed where we have Ari and Bert just sitting in a shed, obviously not doing any work. And then if you go the other way, it leads to the yard. Now we have Charlie and then we have Den. I put Den in the yard at the docks because I just figured that he would probably work at the docks. But anyways, they're just shunting some trucks. We have 2 flatbeds here. We have an old Brio car, and then we also have Emily's tender. Now, this is the tender from that Emily knockoff that I had used for years, and I'm thinking about making it into a custom piece of rolling stock. So that's probably what I'm gonna do. That's why it's sitting here. But anyways, going back to where Derek is, these 2 lines continue going straight. They both go up onto this little bridge, and we have Duck pulling the aquarium cars. And then Duck's line merges with the other line, going to the red bridge, going around and down and back to Knapford Station. Well, back down to where Knapford Station is, but goes past Tidmouth Sheds where we started. And so I believe that is everything that this layout entails. I hope you enjoyed it. This took a little while to make, as I had not built a layout in a while, but it was fun nonetheless. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to let me know your thoughts on this layout, and maybe I'll see y'all again. This is Donald Productions signing off.